Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cliff, and welcome back to The Edge of Average. And I have to say, I've been trying to learn to code for a while now, just kind of dabbling in it. And things like AI have made it even more confusing to try to figure out what is the best way to learn. I've tried using the AI to help me build things, and most of the time it builds more than I want it to. And even when it's explaining itself, I'm not actually learning anything. So that's not actually been helpful. But I can also say that going through tutorials over and over again has also not been helpful. And I'm inconsistent enough that when I do try to build my own projects, it gets hard to remember what to do. But I decided I'd try something new with the AI, and this time I told it, hey, AI, you're going to be my software engineering mentor, and you're going to pass on to me not only your love for programming, but your love for computers in general. Let's build a project together. Show me what you got. Teach me something. Make me love computers. And it was like, sure. Let's go ahead and start this personal dashboard project you've been building on. And this is what we wound up building so far. Now, to you guys, this is basically just a glorified to-do list. And I can also tell you, like, it is a glorified to-do list, right? Like, I can add my next little thing here. It's gonna go in my coding category. We need to get started because we haven't added it, and there it is. Now, the thing that, just makes it like my own little piece of flair is I can add my categories here. We need to say get started, and now we can add that. There's my new category. We can update that to, whichever we want. It's pretty, there we go. Nice if I wanted it to, like, kind of fun. My own little way of making a to-do list, I guess. And most importantly, it survives refreshing the page, which was a bit of a pain, funnily enough for me. But we can go ahead and get rid of those because they don't actually do anything. I've already made my personal dashboard show off in progress instead of getting started, because you're getting to see it right now. Now, like I said, that is basically just a glorified to-do list. But what makes it pretty unique to me is that instead of, simply just being a neat little JavaScript app that I've done, it runs in the browser and does its thing, instead of writing to localhost and everything else, when AI approached me with this project, it was like, hey, you're going to start in the backend. So I was like, that's weird. Never done that before. I don't know how to do backend anything. And it was like, cool, I'll help you out. So here we go. Everything I do for this little app is just running through this little node server I have running in the background. And that is the cool part about it. So the neat part to me is that even though I'd have never thought to even start in the back end at all, because I've never done anything that way. I've never made it that far in any of my tutorials, and that I have tried. Everything I've done has, basically been writing to local storage. But this way, the way we've done it is I've essentially got my neat little, there you go, dashboard thing where going through, it's loading all of the ideas, rendering them to the way I want to the screen. It's building that cool little category drop down we have and getting everything good to go that way. And this is how we add the ideas. It's all very nice right here. But the new thing for me, right, is doing server stuff, making HTTP requests. So we've got these fetch, right, the different methods we have living in there, and all that comes back through here, goes into our server, and goes back through our little router that we have inside the server. This is how you handle these different, see, like a get request or a delete request, and patch. There's a post in there somewhere, and this was the fun part for me. And all of it, gets just written to this little JSON file over there. And I had never actually built an app this way. And it's basically my own little itty bitty full stack application I have running for myself. I've never made it past the front end, and that was the coolest part for me. I will say, though, that even though building it this way, I didn't even talk about how we went about doing it. So yeah, I was basically chatting with the AI the whole time, and it would walk me through step by step. I'd ask it questions about the code. It would tell me to answer questions about the code before I ever added it to, oh no, my microphone's betraying me. So you guys actually just witnessed my microphone betraying me. My stand is broken, but that's okay. We're just gonna send it like this for right now. But yeah, the whole method to the madness was, it would, basically send me code, tell me to explain it back to it before I did anything with it. Good thing too, because it wouldn't have actually worked in the program the way it wrote it. It did that on purpose to make me have to add my own inputs and change things. Kind of clever on its part for a robot. But we would go back and forth, and it would say things, and I'd be like, what's this do? And I'd be like, I think it does this. And it'd be like, well, you're close, but this is what's actually going on here. But now that you know that, how would you implement it in your current code base? And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So that kind of back and forth, at least for me, was kind of nice. Now, I will say there's a couple things that do come with this that I maybe it's a word of caution, take it with what you will, but I will say something that I noticed really happened, I guess, in like this little snippet of code that I have for you right here. So it was telling me to set enter HTML, and if you're a code newbie like I am, that you might not know that is a potentially dangerous thing to do with your code. It's not in this case, which I'll get into, but I asked the AI about that, and it was like, yeah, technically you're right. If you set enter HTML based off of user input, you're vulnerable to what's known as cross-site scripting, right? Someone will just put a script in your little text edit thing there, and when you send it to the server, it'll execute as HTML, and there you go. Someone's messed up your website or your app. But in this case, because I'm building a standalone app, it's not getting deployed to anyone, there's no other users besides me, it's not actually any threat. It's not like I'm going to hack my own dashboard, although maybe I should just to, practice that one day. Anyway, not the point. But the real point of that is that I only knew to ask it about that because I read it somewhere else when I was trying to learn code. I didn't remember the details, but I think that's kind of the importance of even when you're trying to tell it to teach you and explain things to you, it's still gonna miss stuff, right? So maybe that's the importance of getting after your own education. Some of those tutorials or like the documents or things like that you actually need to read are pretty useful. Because I'd have never known to even ask it about setting enter HTML being risky if I hadn't have read it somewhere else. So can't outsource all of my education to it, but it's still been pretty useful. I guess I can also say that was a very slow process building something this way. This entire app is just a few hundred lines of code, more if you want to count the HTML, but not really. Like that wasn't like the fun logic-y part of it for me. So the actual learning part of it all was just only a couple hundred lines, and that took a few hours to actually get done because of all of the questions I would ask, the AI asking me to explain the code for me before I used it. Not just code, I'm talking like command line prompts and not prompts, whatever. Command line commands that you would send through in Bash, or like your terminal. So we talked through all of that stuff getting this set up, and that really slowed the process down. But what it did do is that I knew a lot of the reasoning behind every decision that AI and I made. I'd like to say it's uniquely me, but I don't know enough. So AI influenced decision making went into the code, and I would say more importantly, even though I couldn't reconstruct all of this from scratch for you, I can go through every line of code I have and tell you exactly what it's doing, how it's interacting with all of the other files, and things like that. And that's the important part to me, is I don't want a black box. I don't want my computer to be a black box experience. Yeah, I want to know what's going on a little bit more and understand them better, because I think they're cool. I like the idea of them in programming, but it's just hard to start now. But you guys tell me, tell me in the comments, do you think this is an effective way of using AI to learn something? Is it still more effective to just, go back through the docs or Stack Overflow, if anybody still uses that, and, try to do things the old school way, because that's what makes the learning stick. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.